So what is up YouTube? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Ipoe or SoFi stock, and I'm not going to be doing a stock analysis because I already made one, but essentially I'm just going to be giving updates on their business since that video, and I'm also going to be talking about what to expect after the merger. Ipoe is a special purpose acquisition corporation led by Chamath Palihapitiya, which essentially means they're a blank check company with no operations, but they do have cash to acquire a business. So essentially they look for a business and then they plan to bring it public, and the business they chose was SoFi or social finance. So right now today on May 27th, there is a voting going on where shareholders have to vote whether they're in favor or not in favor of the SoFi merger, and a majority of shareholders do agree to the merger. Then the merger will happen tomorrow, and the ticker symbol from Ipoe to SoFi will change on Monday. So if you do own shares of Ipoe, do remember to vote. Now whether you want to vote for the merger or for the merger not to happen is up to you. Personally, I am voting for the merger to happen. So how the merger works and what the share price will look like after the merger, I'll be talking about a little later. But before that, I want to talk about two major developments that happened with SoFi. So SoFi is a one-stop shop for everything personal finance. That means they offer loans, they also give insurances, student loan refinancing, and they also give personal finance advice. So SoFi does allow its customers to deposit money with them. However, SoFi can't actually use those deposits and give out loans to everyone else like other banks do. They can't take someone else's money and give that money to someone else. And the reason for this is because SoFi doesn't have a bank charter, and they're trying to speed up the process of getting a bank charter by acquiring a community bank called Golden Pacific for $22.3 million. Now when SoFi actually gives out loans, they don't have to depend on another bank for financing. Instead, they'll be able to receive their own deposits and make loans on its own, which will increase profits. And also another popular fintech company called Square is also trying to obtain a bank charter. Now this is great news because it improved their margins on the loans they give, so that means they'll increase profits. Now let's talk about the second big news. So the second big news is that SoFi is now allowing its customers on the SoFi Invest platform to buy IPOs before they're actually public. So they have the same opportunity to buy IPOs just like hedge funds have, and they don't have to overpay. For example, Snowflake came public at $90. Essentially, that's where hedge funds got to buy it. But the price shot up over 100% when it came onto the stock market for retail investors. This meant that hedge funds got to buy it at $90, while retail investors had to buy it at $180. So in order to make it more fair, SoFi created this new feature. And this is the first investing platform to actually do this, and I do believe Robinhood is also going to follow on this feature, and I believe this is as big as when Robinhood made trading feeless. This is great news because it will attract more customers onto the SoFi Invest platform, and from there SoFi can cross-sell their other solutions, some of their solutions that are higher margin like loans. So now let's talk about the market cap at which SoFi would come public if the merger does happen, and when the merger can potentially happen, and also whether the stock is a buy or not at its current price. So Ipoe is a blank check company like I explained before, and there are outstanding shares of 100 million. So when they merge with SoFi, they're essentially two different companies or two different entities merging with each other. So there will be 100 million shares of Ipoe, then the combined entity of SoFi and Ipoe will have a combined diluted shares of 850 million. So if the merger were to happen, the number of shares would increase by close to 8 times. So at $10 per share, the value of the combined company will be $8.5 billion. So currently at $20, it would be close to $17 or $18 billion. So essentially, you're buying into a $17 billion company. So don't get confused by looking at the $2 billion market cap of Ipoe. That market cap is just for Ipoe alone and not for the combined company, because again, they are going into a merger. So the valuations of both companies will basically be merged, and the valuation currently of both those companies combined, if they went public today, would be about $17 billion. However, one share that you have of Ipoe will be converted to one share of SoFi, and they'll be the same share value. However, your stake or your ownership stake in that company will decrease. So it's not that big of a deal. It'll be a 1-to-1 conversion, so don't be worried about that. So SoFi has projected revenues of $980 million in 2021, so you're essentially paying a price to sales ratio of 17 because their revenue is $980 million and their market cap is $17 billion. So that's a price to sales ratio of 17, which is on par with other fintech companies like PayPal, Visa, or Square. So I actually do own shares of Ipoe or SoFi, and I actually bought this under $15, and I actually sold my position in Square to buy this stock, like mentioned in my previous stock analysis. Now the reason why I sold Square and I bought SoFi is because I feel like the risk reward for SoFi is a lot better. I do feel like Square does have lots of potential, but I feel like the fintech space is getting very competitive, and it does seem like there'll only be a few winners, and I do think SoFi will be one of them. So again, I feel like the risk reward is a lot better for SoFi. Now again, I bought SoFi or Ipoe at the $15, $16, and $17 ranges. However, I would not recommend buying it right now. But again, this is not financial advice, and the reason for this is because it seems like there's a lot of pre-SPAC or pre-merger hype. So before a merger, there tends to be a lot of hype around it, and then traders start to enter it, which pumps up the stock price. Then after the merger happens, people take profits and sell off, which causes a huge dump in the stock price. So right now there is some hype with the stock, and once that hype leaves, which I do think it will, maybe a few weeks after the merger, I do think the stock price will come down back to the $17 or even $15 ranges, and then you could plan on buying it, because at $19 the stock does look a little expensive. Now though I'm pretty confident the stock price will dip after the merger, I'm not selling because Ipoe is still relatively a small position in my portfolio, so I actually plan on adding if they do hit those $15 or even lower ranges. However, SoFi is currently a play in the fintech space because I am very bullish on this play. However, there's a lot of competition, so I just chose SoFi because the risk reward looks great. So if you do plan on buying the stock, maybe do be patient with the prices, and if you guys do want to see a DCF model on SoFi, do let me know. However, with that being said, this was just a quick update video on SoFi before the merger. If you guys did enjoy the video, please do leave a like and subscribe. Also comment down below what videos you'd like to see, and thank you for watching.